one of the interstates over there. They cleared out that black community and put the freeway there.
See, the problem I have now though about HBCUs, and I'm pro-black and everything. When you really find out who created it and who's running, like I didn't even know. When I talked to these young kids, I was like, I didn't even know about the Rothschilds and how they, they really set up Spelman and shit like that. It's like, it, even when even with you going to a HBCU, is it really a HBCU?
But I mean, it's all.
Because mine is. Mine is.
But I mean, it's all.
Like not all.
Sir Isaac Lane was a fair skinned black man like myself. You understand what I'm
But I
talking
mean, it's all a money thing, and you got to think about certain things. It costs. It costs. You know. So even with Rothschild creating Spelman, because she did it under her maiden name, so it wouldn't blow back. But it was more in name and funding more than anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rockefeller. And that's for a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of these schools, just a lot of stuff in general, even with us being the forefront of it, who's backing some of the stuff? And a lot of it is really just for the backing. But then you got to think about it, like with the backing, like what are the stipulations behind it too as well? What did they have to do to make sure we got what we got now? But I tell people this, that CRT, that critical race theory, why do you realize why they don't want it taught? Think how bad it would mess up the political arena. Think how bad it will mess up the political. Not in.
Well, it's two sides to that coin, right? Because, like, when you can look at it like if we giving the information now, it'd be like, hey, look, these are the black people that were doing things and thriving during this time period, right? But I think the information that we was getting, as far as Black history, it was making black people look more docile than heroic. You know what I mean?
It didn't. I'm gonna tell you. This
So
is what.
it's two sides to that coin because depending on the child and how they brain take this information, it you know what I mean. It can play. They can play psychological games with it.
I agree with you, but it wasn't the teaching. It was the pictures. It was the photograph.
Oh, you talking about them doing them rituals and standing over niggas hanging and all that?
Look at the time period. When it comes to a lot of civil rights movement, how are the pictures presented to us? In black and white.
Black and white.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Black and white does something to our brain. I can't pinpoint what it does, but it does something psychological to our brain.
I'm sure
it does.
I'm gonna be real with you, but longest I always thought, I don't know why, I used to think shit was just in black and white in the old time, like back then. Like I used to ask people, like, did y'all
color
have
pictures?
color back then?
It was color pictures back then. When it comes to civil rights movement, a lot of our pictures are in black and white. It does something to it. It makes it feel older. It makes it feel. That's only.
You feel like it went there long ago.
Yeah.
Like 1968 was 22 years before I was.
My parents. When he died, Martin Luther King died in 1968. My parents were born in 65.
Right. My mama born in 71.
Mine was born in 70, yeah.
Like when we think about it, like
bro. That's 20 years.
It wasn't, but that black and white aspect makes it feel like it was older, ages ago. So this is what I mean when I go back to the critical race theory. Think about a lot of those people. If our parents were born around that time, and certain people around that age are in the political element or in these high positions, what do you think their parents were doing? They don't want secrets about their family coming out because it will mess up what they have going on.
Right, because especially with the cancel culture shit now.
Yeah. So
like Jerry Jones standing outside yelling at the black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think, but do you really think the cancel culture is really as strong as it used to be?
No. It's
yes.
But
I can't agree with that.
Yeah, but this is the thing that I think people don't understand though. That was a time period, right?
I don't believe it's that strong.
Once upon a time in this country, slavery was not against the law. You see what I'm saying? So it was a right. You had a right to have slaves in
You
this country.
really,
No, I hate the
but
word
hold on,
slave,
slavery still is not really against the law. Because if you go to jail, it's the same thing. It's
but
slavery.
that's how they tricked us, right? You know what I mean? The whole Jim Crow thing. That's how they tricked us into staying where we at. But not slavery. Being a prisoner of war wasn't against the law. I hate slavery. That just makes it seem like, you just like do what I say do type of deal.
And to be
That wasn't
honest,
what was happening.
like, and I tell people this, like, slavery is worldwide. American slavery is by far the worst type of slavery there has been in history
Yeah.
because it wasn't like others where you was only a slave for a few years and let go.
And you
Like,
know what's so funny? Why, like, my daughter came to me. She said, "Dad, it's two things she know. I didn't even know this at school. I didn't know black people used to own black. Like they used to have
yeah,
black slaves owners too, and I didn't know white people used to be slaves. My daughter put me onto this.
So pay attention to my boy Fred Hampton. Pay attention to the movement that Martin Luther King started, right? Martin Luther King started the Poor People